Welcome to another Mugford lifestyle video. In this episode, we embark on changing out the old drawer system from this into this. Come join us and see how it all came about. She's all stripped, ready to pull apart. It's nice seeing a stripped out rear of the cruiser to get the ideas flowing on how we're going to create the new drawer system. This was the first cut of the first piece of wood for the base of what the drawers would be sitting on. Then we started getting our designs together with the elements of what we wanted to fit in the drawer. Turns out this mock-up is not what we decided to go with. We designed it to have a completely lower profile, as we found that the height wasn't what we needed. We ended up with this base construction that the drawers are fitted to. This allowed to have only 4 bolts and the whole thing can be unbolted. Now it's time to drop some paint on the drawers. If you've ever used a spray gun, this is the most satisfying thing you can do with your pants on. Oh, that is satisfying. Got the drawers all painted up now. All the holes. Covered the runners. Good. Let the carpeting process begin. All the glue. So now everything's made. We're going to be starting the gluing and carpeting process. That'll be fun. Hot. It's only like a cheeky 35 degrees today in Melbourne. Finally, a summer day. So all the heartache of engineering and doing all the bolts down there so we can pull it out, it's all paid off. Bolted straight in. Just gotta put the fridge in and the drawer in, make some wings, and we're done. Woo! Alright, well they're pretty much in. Almost sort of done. Only things we've got to do, some carpet in here. Goes all the way down and up and around. And that will look nice. It's looking good. It's amazing what a little bit of carpet can do inside a drawer. It's crazy. So a little bit more work's been done to the drawers. Filled in that carpet piece underneath. Painted the rails down here black so they blend in a bit better. The lock is actually put in properly now, which is good. Put some stuff in there as a test run, but it's all shaping up to be nearly done, just the wings to go. So I pulled out the drawer and finished off the carpeting on the inside of this drawer. I'm so surprised how good carpet makes this feel and look compared to painted wood or just plain wood colour. Yeah, and it gives everything more of a softer feel too. Anyway, I think tomorrow we'll be working on these bloody things. Bring out the cardboard. So officially the drawers are complete. It's just the wiring side of things to do. A little bit of carpeting, but that can be all done. Sort of post all the holes and everything that needs to go in. It's looking good. Sorry about how dark it is, but it's exactly what we needed and wanted. So the challenge now begins with all this wiring placement. Got to do it right the first time. It's going to be the hardest bit, figuring it all out. Wish me luck. Test fit 1. Maybe this configuration. Now we're looking at the wiring diagram that I spent a hot minute putting together. It's definitely very helpful when you got the board right in front of you, but it's also more important that you're putting it together safely. It's all fused correctly, and knowing that it's all fused correctly, you want to know that the elements that you've got in your system are going to the right places. For instance, you want your compressor going direct off your main starter battery with your car on. Cabling size is also critical. You need to know what you're putting and where, and definitely fusing to the cabling as well. So I've now come up with placement for all the fuse boxes, MPPT, little fan, another fuse box I suppose. It's finally good to nut it out and figure out where everything's gone. The DC to DC is actually going to go near the battery, which will be behind the fridge, in that back compartment there, which you'll see later in the video. Just decided it'd give me a whole lot more room in this area without trying to squeeze a DC to DC in there. It's quite chunky and the cabling has to go in the right angle, whereas this way to work a lot better for the setup. Alright, let's get some wiring. Just wired up the temp switch for the fan to feed some air into the fridge area. Seems to work quite well. Just heat it up with my hand, 2 degrees above, and it switches on. It's pretty cool. Storing 0.3 of an amp, which is hopefully not too bad. Make the fridge breathe a lot better, I'm assuming. Well, I hope. Only time will tell. Works! Woo! So we've punched in all our holes in the front panel. Got our battery monitor, solar disconnect if need to, a couple of USBs, switches for lights inside, and some Andersons. One of these is going to be Red Anderson for the MPPT, so we don't get that mixed up. It's all coming along. Just need a carpet now. I'll tell ya, a bit of glue and carpet makes a big difference. And part way there, a few more to go. Anderson's on switch. Show you what it looks like in a minute. So finish off this side. I've just got to plumb the air line and just the wiring off the compressor once that goes in. That'll be done. I've still got this side to go, but nearly there. Nearly there. So we've wired most things in. We've got our tails run, so main pos from the battery, main neg, we've got our cat cable, temp sensor, and a secondary wire for the other fan that's on the other side of the fridge, blowing hopefully cool air in to the fridge. Got our last one here is our solar. That's from our switch, so we can isolate it if need be. Just figuring out what to do with this last thing, which will probably go closer to the battery to isolate the DC to DC if need be as well. And that should be about it. Just putting the box in the actual car. Alright, bring it on. Alright, it's been a mission, but we've got a few extra things added. Finally got this switch panel put in, which is amazing. Trying to get into the little wires behind there, and it's all fixed in. A little bit more difficult than it looks, and I wanted it really neat, so I didn't want a lot of slack behind there. But I'll give you a bit of a rig rundown of just a quick one. I just put in this nice little dimmer switch, so that controls 2 sets of lights in terms of on-off power. It also really ramps down the dimming really well with this secondary unit here. So you can dim it down, but you can dim it down even further, which is super handy for making it less bright. Separate switch on these to turn them off as needed, and then obviously on-off switch for these, which is fantastic. Just got a USB in here. This is a solar input on-off type deal. I'll explain that a bit more with the DC-DC. Just a standard Anderson and a solar input, little Victron unit as you've seen, and then just a Renogy smart lithium monitor, which tells me state of charge and all that, which is good. You've seen, hopefully, need a light, the compressor, which is in the back down here. Yeah, just outlet and a switch for that. But that's wired to the car, so I've got to have that on and running. Just need to mount the battery now, put some main breaker, just turning off things out the back. So it's been a year since I've tried to edit this video and get it out, but the draws they've essentially done phenomenally well. They've done everything to our expectations and more. They've gone through all of WA. They've done some of the hardest tracks that the poor old girl's gone through. Been out to Steep Point, there's some crazy corrugations. Did the Gibb River Road, and yeah, they held up so well. I just wanted to show you the final product, and I suppose go through the little bit in-depth detail as to what the system is, all the little bits and bobs in it, and then my final thoughts. Okay, so why the change with the drawers? We had a perfectly working system before. It was able to hold heaps of stuff, probably too much stuff to be honest, and did a really good job. You know, those King's drawers, they need some love, work and attention, but you know, you put that effort in and you get a decent result. So yeah, why the change? Well, the short answer is we just wanted a really deep drawer because we did some big trips around Australia, and we took our long service sleeve, and we knew we were going to have plenty of things that had height to it, for example wine. That's not the main reason, but we wanted to be able to store taller things, hence the deeper drawer. Subsequently, we ended up changing our little cooker. We had a dual burner cooker for whatever reason. We just didn't need it, and we were trying to integrate it into putting it in here. We've now just bought a simple single cooker and a pan, and that lives in the drawer. But it allowed us to actually put in this drawer up here, and that's been amazing, game changer for us. So starting with this top drawer, essentially pull down the two tabs, pull it out, nice big deep drawer. It doesn't go all the way, there's probably 10 centimeters to the back of the drawer, but this houses all my little knickknacks and, you know, lights and little socket set, ropes for the awning, bit of dunny roll, yeah, all sorts of things. But these little things that you have, and you need quick access to, is that on a daily basis it makes wonders. You know, and you can simply have it out of sight, out of mind. Shut it up, bang, it's gone. Nextly, we got it's a kick-ass fridge, which is, you know, Kings have taken it on now, but exactly the same, maybe a slightly different compressor. But yeah, got the Wild Touring, thanks Cam for the front pocket, invaluable, tea towel, USBs, a little remote, there was a torch in there, and then the piece de resistance, the big dog. All right, well there you have it. This is the big dog. As you can see, we've got so much in here. Extra lights and plates and extra beer, soda water, a cooker, even got an induction cooktop in there. Lots of kids things. Yeah, it's been phenomenal for adding those extra pieces as you travel around. Moving up from the big dog, Travel Buddy. This is super essential when traveling. We've made bread, but just mainly lunch stops. You know, you pull out some, I don't know, frozen whatever. You know, mainly probably chicken strips to be honest. And yeah, a couple of hours in there, and your lunch is made, chuck it in a wrap. Yeah, it's bloody good. A couple of trays live in there. The welding gloves live in there too, which is essential for traveling and camping. Little inverter up here. This is only, I think, a 500 watt EnerDrive. Actually punches well above its weight. We had a situation in El Cuestro where we're no sun pretty much, undercover. You may know what I'm talking about. And yeah, fridge is really struggling. Car fridge not so much because we did a lot of driving, but yeah, the camper. So we ended up using the inverter and sucking the battery in here dry, and yeah, charging up the camper. Yeah, pretty invaluable. We've got a cage up the top as well. I've just made a little welded pole. You can take it out, but it stops this wobble and flex. Just the way that the travel buddy and the items we put up there really helps just make that rock solid. No shake now. Yeah, that holds heaps of stuff up there. Holds my mainly my big 300 watt folding solar panel, but it holds shovels and the portable toilet. Yeah, all sorts of things. All right, now the compartments on top of the drawers. There's 3 hatches that we've put in, one on each wing and one at the rear. And the one at the rear rarely gets lifted. It houses the battery, isolator, and a few other bits and bobs. And then each side, this side mainly is all your electrical, and then this side over here is for spare parts. I'll show you what's in each of them now. So on this side, yeah, we've got all of our electrical systems going on. Down here, we've got some radiator hoses. This is a sub fuse box. And then you would have seen earlier on the video how all this was laid out. Victron solar controller, little voltmeter or temperature meter just here. Yeah, all your beautiful connections. Got a big dog, I think that's a 125 amp Anderson connection. That's straight from the alternator. I tend to run a POS and a neg on that. Just some cabling that comes up here to the inverter. And that's about it for this side. Okay, in the rear, we've got a unobstructed child restraint, the main battery here, a couple of fuses, main isolator for connecting, I think it's battery on this one, just a main neg, bus bar, DC to DC charger. That's about it really. Then moving on to the other side, just got the old King's dual compressor. To be honest, it's worked faultlessly. Pumps the hell out of your tyres so quick. Being very impressed with that. If it dies, I'll just buy another one. As you can see, the last compartment here is just our storage wing. The Cruiser comes factory with, such a big side wing. It houses a few little nicks and knacks. We've got battery cables here for jumping, some aluminium epoxy repair, spare oil filter, some of that crazy cool tape that goes on radiator hoses and whatnot. Just a little tool roll, nicks and knacks in a little container there, spare brake pads, and spare oil filter. That's really about it. Now, touching on the electrical panel, I know I showed you a little bit before and gave you a little sneak peek, but I'll go through it again, and I'll explain the solar regulator and why that's got on and off. So yeah, at the top we've got our Renogy just battery monitor that plugs directly in.
Ethernet cable into the battery. You would have seen that out the back. Got a standard USB quick charge 3 and a 65 watt USB-C power delivery port. That thing pumps, and been impressed with that. That's just an eBay jobby. Spare switch, that does nothing as of yet. It is wired in though, so it's ready to go for something. This little button here, it's actually a dimmer. So what I've actually done here is this switch here turns on and off these lights, which are above my head. But it's wired in conjunction with this controller here. That's just Aldi actually, Adventurage. And that's got dual color lights on there. So you can do, orange, white, and both. You can also dim it down. The reason I actually wired it together, so two dimmers in line, is I found that when I dim this right down, it still drew quite a few amps. But if I dimmed it down even further, it got it down from, well, you could just see it there, it went from 1.5 amps to 0.4. So both lights on, just driving 0.4 of an amp. And at night, it's more than bright enough, more than bright. Yeah, the touch dim is cool as well. So down here is just a standard 50 amp Ando. That's just for powering whatever I want to power really. And then solar direct into that Victron controller. Now touching on the isolator for the solar as well, why would I want to turn my solar off on the roof, you ask me? Like that seems silly. So yeah, the Renogy DC to DC charger, people think it's a fault, but for me it's actually a big positive. When the charger sees solar, it automatically reduces your alternator input to half its capacity. So it's a 50 amp charger. When it sees solar, it'll cut it down to 25. Why would I want to cut it down to 25 when you want to pump it in? Well, I have actually got a 50 amp charger in the camper trailer as well. So that would mean if I had both running flat out, that's 100 amps. And my poor little alternator, which we actually had to change on the road, is only 100 amps. So that's a no-goer. You'd be using all your power. So I always try and leave this on unless I know I'm not hooked up, and then I can turn it off and get the full 50 amp whack. Yeah, that is the main reason. All right, so they're the drawers. Plain and simple, really. There's not much to it. It was a good, fun process building it with Dad. Really enjoyed our time together, and just creating something with our hands. It really gives us a good bonding experience and just time together. All right, well, that's the drawers. Now, is there anything I would change? Yes, there's some things I would add and things I would revise. Something I need to add, and I've just been slacking doing it, is a rod between here, so it's just a one-handed operation. It might make life a little bit easier. Has it been bad at all? No, definitely not. It's just been something I haven't been bothered to do. The main thing that I do want to change is instead of running Teflon runners on the bottom of here, being so weighty, yes, they work well, but by the time it comes right out, very hard to pull in and out. It could be better. So I will redesign this drawer eventually, and I will put in some runners, make it a little bit narrower to fit the runners in, and then do that one-handed bar operation as well. And I just think that would nail it and get it almost pretty much perfect. So yeah, there it is. So to wrap the video up, I just thought I'd talk about costs. Some people don't really care about costs with drawers. and they just go get a pre-manufactured one. I wanted something super specific and exact to my liking. So if you put that in perspective, time, yeah, it costs a lot of money with time. Materials, not so much. It's a bit of wood, a bit of carpet, a bit of glue and screws. I already had all the componentry pretty much from the last build, so that made it pretty simple. But looking at the calculations, it was about $700 to $750 of material costs. So yeah, if you had to put it in an hourly rate, it'd be thousands. So I can definitely understand why, you know, draw companies charge what they charge. Yeah, a lot of time, effort, engineering, figuring things out. Yeah, for me, figuring it out, that was half the fun bit. But having it exact, that's what I wanted, and that's what we got. Enjoy, guys. See you on the next one.